Good, happy Monday. Is Monday, April 7, 2025. I'm Riley King, and welcome to Riley's Kingdom of News, right here on WRMK News Radio. We got a lot to talk about on this Monday, so let's get started and dive in right now. First up, Donald Trump on Chris Sununu. I hope he runs for U.S. Senate. Let's take a listen to that report from WMUR News 9.
Former New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu is saying that he'll win the open Senate seat in New Hampshire, and that he has no doubt you'll support him if he runs. Is that true?
True. I told him, he came to my office, came to the Oval Office, and met with Chris Sununu, and I support him fully. I hope he runs. He's been very nice to me over the last year or so, but no, I hope he runs. I think he'll win that seat.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Dow plunges more than 1,200 points as the Trump trade war continues. Let's take a listen to that report from ABC News.
Good morning on this Monday morning. We're coming on the air for opening bell on Wall Street and what is expected to be another brutal day of trading, perhaps. The stock markets in the U.S. and around the world obviously reacting to President Trump's tariff policy. Overnight futures signaling the Dow is facing a roughly 700-point loss, perhaps, in the opening minutes here on Wall Street. The Dow losing more than 2,000 points on Friday for just the fourth time in its history. That's after losing 1,700 points on Thursday. Close to about 4,000 points lost in just 2 days. You can see there on the opening bell down 1,200 points here. The NASDAQ and S&P 500 also looking at a tough day ahead. The NASDAQ entering a bear market officially on Friday after losses on Thursday and Friday of nearly 6% apiece. The S&P 500 dropping about 6% as well on Friday for its worst performance since the outbreak of the pandemic in March of 2020. It lost about 10% in 2 days. A lot of numbers to throw your way, but again, all eyes on the Dow here this morning. Markets in Asia and Europe already taking a nosedive. Hong Kong, South Korea, Japan, and China. European markets are down across the board, facing a 16th month low. The London Stock Exchange has plunged to its lowest point in a year, seeing 5% wiped off its value. Let's put back up the numbers of the opening bell here on Wall Street just moments ago. The Dow opening up down 1,200 points, down about 3% on the opening bell. Let's get right to Whit Johnson on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Whit, obviously investors anxious again on this Monday, beginning a new week, and worried we're going to see today what we saw on Thursday and Friday.
Absolutely, David. The activity really picking up here on the floor moments after we heard the opening bell. And I spoke to a trader just a short time ago, and he said, look, there is fear and loathing across the markets here. He even described this as sort of a mini crash right now because of the lack of clarity that they're getting from the Trump administration, the anxiety, the uncertainty about what's going to happen next. Again, we're looking at these numbers here. The Dow down almost 1,200 points right now. The NASDAQ about 620. The S&P 500 about 176, of course, where millions of Americans have their 401ks, their retirement savings. And part of the problem here is the way the administration has been downplaying the impact of the tariffs and the impact of this sell-off. We saw President Trump just this morning on social media insisting that the tariffs are bringing in billions of dollars every week into the United States. But again, if you ask most economists, they are saying that it will ultimately be American consumers who pay those higher prices on everyday goods. And we're seeing the reaction here. And it's not just what happened last week or today. The expectation is it could be a very difficult week ahead.
Okay, and there you go on that report. It's going to be interesting. We will keep you updated on this throughout the week ahead and things. And if you want to weigh in, feel free to email us at rknetwork1995@gmail.com. That is rknetwork1995@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you and get your opinions on this. RFK Jr. makes new push for vaccines after second child dies of a measles outbreak. Let's take a listen to that report from NBC News.
This morning, the measles outbreak in Texas growing more deadly. Health officials confirming an unvaccinated school-aged child in Lubbock with no reported underlying conditions is now the second to die from the highly contagious virus.
We have lost a bit of our future, which could have been prevented with a vaccine that is 97% effective.
The victim, an 8-year-old girl named Daisy, according to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who traveled to Texas Sunday to attend the girl's funeral. Afterward, Kennedy, a vaccine skeptic who has spread misinformation in the past and downplayed measles risk, writing on social media, the most effective way to prevent the spread of measles is the MMR vaccine, his most direct statement yet. More than 600 cases have been reported nationwide this year, more than 480 of them in Texas alone, including a 14% spike in just the last week.
We just don't know how bad it's going to get.
Megan Messick owns this daycare where the rapidly spreading virus has infected 6 kids and says she's frustrated with the federal government's response.
Our city needs more. We need more federal help. Our testing is behind. I mean, kids getting tested on a Friday and we're not getting the results till Monday, sometimes Tuesday. That's a huge problem.
The question on so many minds this morning, when will it end? Pediatrician Ana Montanez is on the front lines in Lubbock.
I don't see a quick end to it. There is a very real possibility that we may be dealing with this for an entire year, if not more.
And recent massive federal funding cuts to local health departments nationwide are already slowing efforts to contain this outbreak. In just the last week, dozens of measles vaccine clinics have been canceled here in Texas. Now, RFK Jr. says that he is now redeploying CDC teams to this area and working with the state to contain the outbreak.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Okay, and there you go on that report. That is it for this edition of Riley's Kingdom of News, right here on WRMK News Radio. Thank you for tuning in and listening. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll talk together tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.